Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and yeah, it looks like, pretty much it looks like for today's thoughts video right now, well, I guess if anything, we're doing two thoughts videos this time around, yeah. So yeah, and you know what that means, right? That's right, I actually came out of course, a double feature this time around, and yeah, I guess to be honest, it looks like, given to how busy this, pretty much this month is going to be right around before 2025 kicks in, I figure it makes sense for me to finally jump in on that right away for sure to really get things into a high gear, so yeah, I guess it looks like I did manage to do a double feature this time around, hence why this video alongside the next video that you'll see is being put up around the same day for sure, so I guess it will definitely show off, of course, that front, so. But yeah, I guess either way, I guess it's after what I've actually been through right around November for sure, well, I guess if anything, it almost kind of makes sense, see how I've already got my Moana 2 thoughts video up right around at the beginning of this month, but I digress, so. But yeah, nevertheless, I did manage to take the time to get myself pretty much settled in for, of course, some of the new releases that we're actually getting for this month. And, of course, this one we're talking about here today is definitely one movie that I got to see today as part of my double feature for sure, so. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front for sure, so. So yeah, I guess it's probably been a long time coming for, of course, this one, and it looks like we're finally talking about today's movie we're going to be talking about here today, so. So yeah, and I guess if anything, I know a lot of you guys may be wondering on what we'll be talking about here today. Well, this might actually be interesting for sure, so. So yeah. I guess if anything for today's movie we're going to be talking about, how about maybe something a little bit more epic and more of the lines of fantasy? Yeah, I guess if anything, those are what I actually can come up with for sure, and yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much when I actually say the two words epic and fantasy, I think it would signify, of course, what movie I'm actually talking about for sure. And I don't mean any kind of epic fantasy that we've got over the years. I mean one in particular that's been around for a couple of decades now. And for good reason, so. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front, but in case you actually missed out, I'll go ahead and spill the beans right now, so yeah, with that being said, I think for the first of course, this double feature that I actually did, I actually got to check out the latest movie that just came out, which is none other than Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, So yeah, that's of course what I'm going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it is also based around one of the most epic fantasy movies that's been around for a long time, which is of course, well, pretty much Lord of the Rings, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, so before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think I might as well ask you guys this one simple question. Who doesn't know Lord of the Rings? And if you actually don't know Lord of the Rings, then I think you need to seek help, so yeah, what can I say about Lord of the Rings that a lot of people haven't already for sure? I think if anything, Lord of the Rings has been around for a long time now. Pretty much the good classic story from J.R.R. Tolkien, and of course, when it comes to a film, I guess there's a couple that comes into mind, but when it comes to movies in general, whenever we think of Lord of the Rings, we automatically think of course, the Peter Jackson trilogy for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, for well over 2 decades now, Lord of the Rings has actually been pretty much a massive staple when it comes to a film for sure. And of course, the Peter Jackson trilogy, consisting of course, pretty much all 3 films, those being Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and Return of the King. They've actually been massive staples when it comes to movies for sure, and even nowadays, since after they first came out for sure, so yeah, and I guess there is a lot to say about Lord of the Rings for sure, when I mentioned the Peter Jackson trilogy for sure. Yeah, I think it has everything that you could imagine. It has a very engaging story tied in together to all 3 films, have characters that are incredibly interesting and you actually get to know for sure, and of course, pretty much of anything, the iconic theme tune that we all know and love, and even the incredible world building showcasing pretty much everything going around the entire world of Middle Earth for sure, So yeah, there's a lot to say about Lord of the Rings that a lot of people haven't already, and it is for a good reason for sure, and I guess on my part, I do think it is very well deserving by far, and even some stuff outside of it for sure, like of course the Hobbit trilogy that came out afterwards, that is somewhat a big hit and miss in some areas. Actually still has the love and spirit of course, Lord of the Rings for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything, Lord of the Rings is of course still a massive staple when it comes to movies for sure, whether you prefer the theatrical cuts or the extended cuts for sure, or if you're like me and actually prefer both for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for Lord of the Rings in a nutshell for sure. So when I actually heard the news about this newest film, The War of the Rohirrim, I actually got myself quite curious to see how that's going to turn out for sure. I mean, pretty much an entire anime-based Lord of the Rings movie that we're going to be getting. It actually does have a lot of possibilities, and I really am quite curious to see how they're going to pull that off for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, I did manage to get myself in and go see this movie first as part of my double feature that I did, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, and of course, as expected, I did manage to get myself in to go and see this movie for myself, and well, now that I've officially got out of course, seen this film, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this film now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I think I'm not gonna lie. I actually do think this film is alright. I mean, okay, yeah, I don't think it's actually as great as the main Lord of the Rings trilogy for sure, but it's not terrible either. In fact, I dare even say that pretty much comparing this to the Hobbit trilogy that we got the decade before, this film is somewhat a little better from what I can gather, which probably isn't saying a whole lot, but I digress, but I guess it actually did give me a decent enough time for sure, almost to the point where I somewhat nearly recommending this by far. So yeah, I can't say this film is great, but it's not terrible either. I definitely do think it's alright from what I can gather, with some pretty good ideas that they had on paper, but could actually use a little bit of a much better execution on, of course, that front. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and And, well, I guess to me, story-wise, I really do like, of course, what they were actually going for, of course, that from, literally from, of course, what I've seen on paper, it actually does look like it actually does have some really nice and unique ideas for sure, just having it take place a couple of centuries before the events of the main trilogy, hands down, and actually serving it more as a background story on that front, and honestly, to me, yeah, I really do think something like this could actually work for sure, and I think it almost does kind of remind me of the multiple spin-off movies and shows set in like the Star Wars series for sure, to which, yeah, I really do think they have some good ideas story-wise, on paper that is. While I guess for execution, I do think it could have been a whole lot better, of course, that front to actually make it all the more interesting for sure, as I do believe some areas from what I can gather does kind of feel lackluster for sure, and it does kind of slow the movie down from, of course, being absolutely great for sure, but it's not all bad from what I can gather. It's pretty much what I could say on that front for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this film. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, again, I really do like what they were actually going for. And I guess, if anything, writing-wise, yeah, I think that too, I think some parts of it I do kind of felt were a little lackluster, to say the least. But again, I really do like some of the ideas that they were actually going for, and writing-wise, it almost does kind of look like they were actually going to give us something unique and interesting for sure. But again, I think it does kind of stalling, of course, some areas that I think really are preventing that from happening for sure. But like I said, it's not all bad from what I can gather. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story and the writing for, of course, this film for sure. I really do like what they were actually going for on paper, but I guess in terms of execution, I think it could have been a whole lot better than what we've actually seen on screen for sure. But like I say, it's not all bad. Maybe I think with some adjustments here and there, I think we still can get something fantastic with, of course, this one for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about. For starters is, of course, the characters, and honestly, to me, I really do think the characters in, of course, this movie, I actually do get to know some of them for sure, particularly our main leads for sure, and yeah, I think if anything, I really do like, of course, what they're actually going for, hands down, and maybe I think, if anything, I wish they could have actually been giving a bit more development in order to make them likable and interesting for sure, but I'm pretty sure they did the best they could to do exactly that. I just don't think it's actually enough to actually get me hooked on with, of course, all these characters for sure, in a way that I can actually admire for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the characters for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, honestly, to me, I actually really do think they gave off some pretty good performances for sure. Yeah, literally from what I've actually seen, I really do admire for the fact that they really wanted to make the characters great, hands down, and the actors for sure definitely did their best despite the material that's been given to them for sure, and I really do buy into their performances to get myself fully invested on everything that goes on for sure. It's probably not much from what I can gather, but I really do think they dig everything they can to make the characters great for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, I really do think the actors in this film really are really giving off some pretty good performances, in my opinion. Not great, but I do think they've done a good job regardless for sure. So So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the characters and the actors for sure. Yeah, I will admit, some of them I do kind of felt could have been a whole lot more interesting, but I really do like what they were actually going for, hands down. And yeah, I really do think the actors did give off some pretty good performances, hands down, for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, so now that I've got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot for sure. For starters is, of course, well, the animation, and yeah, honestly, to me, I guess aside from the actors, I really do think the animation in this film is just absolutely amazing, hands down. I think, given for the fact that they want to go for an anime feel, hands down, I think it really does show, hands down, and I really do admire, of course, what they actually did with the animation, for sure. The way the characters are actually designed to, of course, the incredible world building, showing off Middle Earth and stuff with some nice watercolor paintings and all sorts of stuff, alongside some nice textures and color from what I've actually seen. I really do admire, of course, what they actually did, and yeah, with what I've seen, the animation really did an incredible job to make this incredible, hands down, and I really love what they were actually going for, hands down, and as someone who actually really does love watching Japanese anime, I think they really did an incredible job with the animation, of course, this film, for sure. So yeah, I can definitely get behind that, hands down, and I really do admire on what they actually did, and let's not forget to mention pretty much the action, where they actually showcase some numerous fight and battle scenes from what I've actually gathered. I really do love what they actually did to really make this stand out quite well, for sure, and I mean, sure, yeah, I guess much like Lord of the Rings, they just do a lot of singing around and talking and stuff, but I think the way they actually did that is that they not only pretty much did that, as well as, of course, get to the action, for sure, they actually did it in a way to really help establish everything, so that way I can get a full-on understanding, for sure, and I guess for the sake of this film, for, well, some parts of it did kind of leave me feeling bored, hands down. Other times, I actually did get myself fully invested on, of course, that, and I really do think it actually does show, for sure. So yeah, wherever something action-packed actually shows up for sure, it really did an incredible job in doing that, and whenever they need to take a breather and actually have pretty much the characters talk, for sure, yeah, that too actually is done well. I really do love this nice balance that they actually did. I mean, sure, some parts of it did kind of teeter back and forth, hands down, but he actually does keep well to what he needs to do, and actually still match well with, of course, the pacing for this film, which, I'm not gonna lie, is actually not that bad, hands down, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, for sure, so yeah, and of course, for the visuals and the effects, of course, this film, I really do love, of course, what they actually did, hands down, and yeah, with what I've actually seen, the visuals and the effects actually does blend in quite well with, of course, the animation for, of course, this film, and I really love what they actually did, for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Now, for the direction in this film, that's given by the film's director, Kenji Kamiyama. I do hope I actually said his name right, but yeah, regardless of that, his direction in this film is honestly not that bad, from what I could gather. I mean, I guess if anything, I think I know he's actually done some good stuff in the past, for sure, and And yeah, some parts of it I do kind of thought were directed quite well, while other times I just personally felt that he could use pretty much a bit more work to actually make this movie great, hands down. But like I said, it's not all bad from what I can gather for sure. And I still admire Kenji Kamiyama's commitment to make this one work, hands down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah. Now for the cinematography in this film, I mean, I will admit it's actually alright. Some camera shots are actually nicely done, while other times I just kind of felt could have been a little bit better for sure, but it is decent enough from what I can gather. I really do think they did a fine job, and of course what they need to do, hands down. So, and of course the editing in this film, I will have to say, is cut up fine from what I can gather. Anything that great or spectacular by all means, but I do admire on what they actually did to really make this work, hands down, which I guess is actually fine on that front. Nothing to write home about for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, I think that's pretty much what I could say for everything that I have to say about this film for sure. And, well, if you actually have seen the movie for yourself, you'll see what I mean for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that too. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie. So yeah, overall, Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, well, like I say, I can't say this movie is great by all means, but it's not terrible either. I really do think it's a decent enough, middle-of-the-road epic fantasy that I knew I was gonna get for sure, and I think it actually does show hands down, but I guess if anything, I do applaud, of course, this movie on what it was trying to do, while actually trying to keep the love and the spirit of Lord of the Rings in a nutshell for sure, and I do think that is what I think what really matters for sure. So yeah, I can't necessarily say it's great, but it's not awful either. I guess I'm somewhere in between, of course, this one for sure, and in a strange way, I think it did give me a good enough time regardless for sure. Yeah, I'm not joking when I actually say it. Yeah, for while I can't necessarily say it's a great film for what it is, I think it did give me a good enough time to give us something that we would expect, hands down, and I really do think this movie did a fine enough job in doing exactly that for sure. It just gave us a pretty much a middle-of-the-road background story tying into everything that goes on with Lord of the Rings for sure, but actually telling a story from a different perspective, hands down, and I think that's pretty much what we got with, of course, this film for sure. So yeah. Pretty decent flick in my opinion, but in a strange way, I still actually recommend it hands down. So yeah, and I guess if that's something up your alley, then I say this movie is definitely well worth checking out. I mean, okay, it's not a masterpiece by all means, as it does have a few too many flaws here and there, but I still admire the commitment they actually did to make this work, and yeah, in the end, I really do think they did a fine enough job regardless, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So if that's something up your alley, then I say by all means, check this movie out. You're not going to get much, but I think you'll still get something that still actually ties in everything with Lord of the Rings regardless, and I definitely do think that's what really matters, hands down. So yeah, not really a great film for what it is, but not bad either. Just a decent middle-of-the-road flick, hands down, that still gave me a pretty good time in Middle-earth regardless, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I'll be fair on this one, and I'll give it a 6 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't say it's bad for what it is, but not great either. Just a decent enough time for me, regardless that I could still recommend, hands down, and still encourage people to check it out for sure. So yeah, nothing really to write home about. Just a fine enough flick for what it is. So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, if you've actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoy it and think it's a really great movie altogether, or do you absolutely hate it and it betrays everything you love about Lord of the Rings? Or are you like me and you thought this movie was alright? So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I would love to know on what you guys think, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching, and well, we're not done just yet, because in literally an hour from now, since I did mention a double feature, hands down, that means I'm gonna have to talk about the second movie that I actually saw at the same time. And you might want to prepare yourself for that, because, well, for the next one, I'm about to do that with a certain someone named Craven. I think you can put 2 and 2 together on what I'm going to be talking about next, so brace yourself, folks. So yeah, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427’s to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427’s Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.